Yeah, today's my flight where I'm going from Dubai to Karachi, Pakistan, and the main thing about today is that it's Corona time. So I'm interested in how the flight is going to be and hopefully answer some of the questions I got from my friends and family. So right now it's 4 p.m. and my flight is at 10 p.m. Actually, my flight is at 2 a.m. but I have to leave at 10 p.m. so I can reach the airport at 11 p.m. because of Corona. We have to reach at the airport at least 3 hours before the flight because there's going to be testing and a whole lots of other procedures. So before we get on with the airport and everything that happens during Corona, let me just show you some of the checklists I have to do before I actually manage to go to the airport. First off, we have to pack my bag, which I haven't done, and I only have like 6 hours left. Here's my suitcase. Let's just throw stuff inside it and get the boarding part done first. Yeah, so objective number 1 is done. I put everything I know of inside that suitcase because I do not know how to pack. But now it's time for the safety precautions. So I'm gonna go down and ask my brother if he has any masks. If he doesn't, I'm gonna hit the store and buy some masks as well as a face shield and some other things if I find them interesting. Let's see how that goes. I'll see you in the next shot. Okay, so this is what I'll be wearing. Basically, this is like a face shield to protect any sneeze or anything coming on me. And I'll be wearing an N95 mask as well to protect from any outgoing source. It looks like, what do we call it? The BLM protesters, the police who protest against BLM. You know those like strong guys that memes have been spread about? I don't want one of those guys. Okay, so now that I'm done with everything pretty much, I'm just gonna sit here for a while because I'm waiting for my flight and I'm kind of bored. I'm just gonna answer some of the questions that people threw at me when I first got the flight. They asked where exactly could we get flights from, because if you notice, you go on the Emirates site or any other place, you won't find any flights. The thing is, you have to go on this specific website or a specific Twitter account which is called Ministry of Overseas Pakistani, which will give schedules for flights that are leaving from each and every country, including UAE, Qatar, and many others, which I hope you can see on the screen right now. And other than that, there are certain aspects such as you have to be ready and you have to be attentive to the bookings. That's what my brother did. Thankfully, we got a flight. Your wheel case that you usually take, you're not allowed to take those anymore. There's a specific dimension. You can't take a backpack which is too big. There's a specific dimension, for example, a computer bag which you could take. You can't take a bag which is bigger than that, such as a wheel carry. And instead, that wheel carry, that 7 kilos that you're allowed to take on Emirates airline, you can take it as a baggage check-in. So you can just check in that and it will be allowed. So other than the 30 kgs that you already have, and have the extra 7 kgs also checked in. Okay, so everything's packed and done and we're about to head to the airport. It's around 9:30. We're gonna leave by 10 and hopefully reach 3 hours early to do all the coronavirus precautions and other things that they have to tell us before we board the flight. Are you wearing your mask? Why are you wearing your mask?
Corona.
Are you going to stay protected?
Yeah.
Good job. High five.
Everything is going to be awesome. Left, right.
Yay! Okay, so I came to this pretty isolated part of the airport so I could film this part and actually talk to you guys and take off my mask. So first of all, as you guys see right now, they gave us sanitization kits at the check-in. So if we didn't bring masks and gloves from home, we could use theirs. But it was pretty much hand sanitizers, some cleaners and other things. For now, I have this mask and shield, but let me tell you, wearing this is close to impossible because this gets so cloudy that you can't see through it, and this is like hard to breathe in. Anyhow, it was pretty much enjoyable and a good experience until we got to the freaking lounge because none of us had ate the whole day and we wanted to eat something here, such as McDonald's or something, but everything was closed, from McDonald's to Shake Shack to Hard Rock Cafe, and we thought that we should. It's understandable. All the restaurants around here are closed, so it feels like I'm in some kind of abandoned hotel or mall or something, or an abandoned old airport. That's closed. However, we walked for around a while with all our luggage and we finally found a Costa Coffee that was open and we got some food. Now we're waiting for a flight which is about 30 minutes. So I want to say, up till now I'm completely satisfied because they cleaned every single thing here. They cleaned the luggages, they cleaned the escalators, they cleaned every single thing. It's so clean that you can literally lick the ground, but don't do that because, you know, Corona and stuff. As you see, the only thing that pretty much scares me right now is how empty the airport is. It seems as if we're the last survivors, like the 100 or something, and we're all in this airport trying to escape. But it's still a good experience. You can understand why it's so empty, but it's so spooky because there's no one to my right, no one to my left. I can literally shout and nobody would hear it because there's no one around me. And this never happens in Dubai airport because Dubai airport is always filled. if you walk 2 steps, you run into someone. Which, if you ask me, is mind-blowing. 2 months ago or even 2 years ago, I would have never thought that this was possible. The thing that I forgot to mention is the testing. There was no testing at the airport at all because I think that's over now. We don't test at the airport. Instead, if you want to test, you can test it at home and come here, but that costs a lot. So instead, me and my family decided that when we reach Karachi, we're gonna just have a quarantine for 14 days to make sure we don't infect anyone else. For now, I think I'm gonna go back and drink my coffee and sit with my family for a while. From there on, we're gonna go to the flight and hopefully I can give you more updates there. My hair is a mess, but do I really care? No. And that's where things began to take the turn for the worse. As soon as we gave them our tickets to board the flight, there was absolutely no social distancing while boarding it. Everybody was touching each other and it was like the coronavirus could easily spread to us or them. And it was kind of weird because I expected much more from the Dubai airport, who was known for having all the precautions for the coronavirus. It was as if there was a swarm of people who did not understand social distancing, around 50 people who were just standing in front of the gate. Luckily for us, Emirates had thought this through and they had a special gate for families like us who had kids who could go through before everybody else does. So at least we got to socially distance. However, it was still scary because those 50 people who were outside the gate might have not done social distancing and they boarded the plane and they brought the flu or some other virus with them, which was a scary thought going through my brain at the time. But after we actually boarded the flight, everything got a bit more smooth sailing because they made sure to check our temperatures, made sure that kids and adults alike were wearing masks, as well as the seat next to us was empty, which proved to be a lot more efficient since nobody had any contact with each other, and the cabin staff made sure to pass through the cabin a lot less, so there is no contact whatsoever. Other than that, they also made sure to give us papers so we can sign and explain how we haven't been to any other country, such as Italy, United Kingdom, USA, where there are many coronavirus cases. The problem was when we actually landed, all precautions were thrown into thin air because people were standing with their backs to each other, and instead of a 2-meter distance, they only had a 2-centimeter distance, which, if you ask me, was completely stupid because what was the reason to avoid the seating arrangement and avoid cabin staff passing through the cabins? As soon as I reached Karachi airport, the unexpected happened. There were so many preparations to battle against the coronavirus that it was hard for anyone to spread it at the airport because they were sterilizing everyone. They were using thermal checking to check if anyone has a fever, and they were also social distancing amongst themselves while wearing biohazard suits. So it was quite interesting because nobody would expect this from Karachi airport. Just as I spoke too soon about Dubai airport being too good, I even said the same for Karachi airport. However, it turned out that I was wrong again. Because as soon as we went to recollect our baggages, it turned out that there was no social distancing at all, and even worse, there were coolies. Coolies who did not wear gloves or any masks and were touching the trolleys and helping everyone out with their baggages. If you ask me, this was very wrong, and as travelers, I was scared to even get any close contact with them. However, it's understandable that the government might want to employ them because of unemployment reasons. However, as a traveler, it's just a scary thought that there are coolies without masks who are roaming around collecting our bags. I wouldn't recommend traveling right now, but if you have to, use all the precautions I mentioned in this video. Thank you for watching and see you next time.